G'day people, it's Phil from 50minuteguitarpractice.com, and today, due to very popular demand from some of my YouTube subscribers and from those beautiful people on Reddit, we are going to be looking at Bold as Love by Jimi Hendrix. Okay, so if you want to skip ahead to the playing bit, then go right ahead, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the performance notes and a little bit about what's going on with the song. But before you go, let's have a listen to what you're going to be learning here. Okay. Enough noodling about. So that's basically what we're going to be taking a look at. The verse and the chorus in this particular section. Now, let's talk about a couple of things. Let's talk about Jimi songs in general. I think they come in three buckets. You've got, over here you've got Jimi songs you can learn note for note. And over here, you've got Jimi songs that you just can't learn note for note. It's too intense, there's too many layers, you can't hear what's going on, and honestly, you would spend the rest of your life trying to nail that note for note, okay? But in the middle is a nice bucket of stuff where you can learn the guts of it and the skeleton of the song note for note, and then as long as you understand musically what's going on, you can do the fills and the little solos and those kind of things and inject your own musical personality into that. So you can invent your own. You can, borrow some of Jimi's too, that's cool, but it means that you don't have to be over here learning painfully for decades and decades trying to get close to Jimi Hendrix, because nobody can, alright? We can all come like 1% close to Jimi, and some awesome people like Randy Hansen, who I was very fortunate to meet the other week with UFO Walter and Manny. He's put decades into honing his craft, but for those of you who want to just learn this and play it and have fun, probably the decades section of learning is not something you want to get into. So this song, Bold as Love, I think fits into this middle category of songs you can play. As long as you know what Jimi was doing in the other bits, you can chuck in some stuff of your own. Okay, so what are the chords? Well, we've got beautiful chord progression for the verse, and it is simply A major, E major, F sharp minor, and D, and that's for the verse. Now the chorus is almost exactly the same, apart from the last chord is a G. So you've got, for the chorus, E, F sharp minor, and then G. But Jimi doesn't play the chords as such. There are two guitar parts in the chorus. What I like to play is the double stop bits, the two note bit. So that's E, ready? Sorry, that's A. E. Then he plays E. F sharp and G. G. Okay. Basically, Jimi is very playful with these chords. You'll know he didn't really play a lot of bar chords. He had his thumb over the top, and there was lots of little things he played. So we'll take a look at that in detail in a moment. But the thing to remember with this is, you know, I didn't play it exactly as Jimmy plays it on the record. And that's kind of what I think I'm trying to do. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I play in a Jimi Hendrix tribute show, and I kind of take it in the same way, say, an actor would take a role. I mean, if you're going to be an actor and you're going to play, like Idris Elba, I think, played Nelson Mandela, he's not going to do an impersonation of Nelson Mandela. It's not a pastiche. He's actually going to try and bring, and did bring, his own truth to that role as a human being, as an actor. And that's what I try and do. I don't really see the point of completely regurgitating note for note renditions, because there needs to be space for me as a musician to inject my own musicality, and I think that's what you guys also should be doing when you're playing Jimmy. Because if Jimmy was watching you play, he would tell you not to copy him. He would like, jam your own thing, man. I'm pretty sure that's what he'd say, right? Okay, let's get to the playing bit. Okay, the first chord is an A major bar chord. So you just hit it and slide off. Everybody's going to get that, okay? Then the next chord is the E major, and I'm playing the open E, and then just doing this little embellishment. Okay, and that is basically, although I'm fretting the chord, I'm using my little pinky finger to hammer on at the 3rd string 2nd fret, and then hit the 2nd fret on the 4th string. So then we go to the F sharp note, and then I play, which is 4th, pulling off to the 2nd on the 3rd string, same on the 4th string, then I come up to here to the D note on the 5th string at the 5th fret, then I do one of Jimmy's little great fills, okay, which is starting on the 5th fret, 5th string. At the 7th fret, I'm playing with my 3rd finger, same string, sliding up to the 9th, and then playing the 7th with my 1st finger on the 4th string. So it goes, and then I go. So that is, I'm playing 2 strings at once. I'm playing the 7th on the 4th string and the 3rd string. So those two together, and then I hammer on with my 3rd finger onto the 4th string while still trying to get the 3rd string to ring. So see how that is still ringing while I hammer on with that. So I go play those 2, hammer on at the 9th, pull off, and hammer on again on the 9th at the 5th string. So it's, or you can pick it a little bit, and then back to our A. Now this bit is beautiful, and Jimmy did this kind of stuff all the time. So from our A note that we get back to, we did this little, again, this hammer on, but we're starting with a barred pair of strings, 1st and 2nd string, 5th fret, and then hammering on with our 3rd finger onto the 7th fret while having the 5th fret 1st string continue to ring. Okay, so that's, and then he re-fingers to this little thing, and we're going to hammer on here. Okay, now that is my 1st finger on the 4th fret at the 3rd string, and my 2nd finger on the 5th fret on the 2nd string. So those two together, and I hammer on with my third finger onto the third string at the 6th fret. So it's a kind of, you know, it's an R&B kind of rhythm figure. If you've heard Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding, you've got that kind of thing. Jimmy did a lot of that stuff. So that phrase together was, so you got, whoop, not quite that good, but same thing really. Open E, embellishment from the 3rd string, hammer on, same as last time. Same thing as I did last time, which is the F sharp on 2nd fret, 6th string, and then 3rd string and 4th string basically go 4 2 4 2, and then change position to D, so we're playing D with the 1st finger. So we're playing a D bar chord. I'm playing just the 5th string with a downstroke, and then the kind of 3rd, 4th and 5th string with an upstroke go, and then slide down to the D flat or the C sharp and play each string individually. So 5 4 3. So that whole thing would be, got that, and then we go, which is back to that little fill we did before when we were on the D, but instead of starting on the D note, we just go. Okay, and so that is again a barred pair of strings, that pair being the 3rd and the 4th string at the 7th fret, and then hammer on with the 3rd finger on the 4th string at the 9th, but trying to get that string higher up to ring as well at the same time, because a lot of people, when they bring that hammer finger down, they tend to choke off the note on the 3rd string. So really try and make sure that you get that rather than it choked out. Okay. So hammer on, or pick it and hammer, pull off, and put that 3rd finger back, but then on the 5th string at the 9th fret. Where do we go from here? Back to the A. Okay, let me just get my bearings now. So I just do the A bar chord and just do a little embellishment, the same what we did on the E when we did that, but that's up here. Now Jimmy, like I say, he didn't really play full bar chords at all, but you know, I'm not Jimmy. I don't really try and copy his style. I just try and make it sound as close as I can with the skills I have. Okay, so okay, if you're one of those people who does a thumb over the top, then awesome, congratulations, I'm very jealous. But for me, I'm playing this A bar chord, and the embellishment, I'm actually taking my pinky finger off and adding it on to the 7th fret on the 3rd string. And I'm playing strings 6, 5, and then 3. Whoops, 6, 5, 3, 6, 5, 3 with the embellishment, and then 4. 6, 5, 3, pick, hammer on, pull off, and then I'm picking 4 strings string 4, okay? Then it's up to here, which is our B. How did that get in there? I don't think I talked about B before. Now Jimmy does a little kind of run, a little minor, B minor run. Okay, and that, if you just take it out of the B minor pentatonic scale, so imagine if you were B starting at the 7th fret, and your little run will start, a descending run starting on the 10th fret, 2nd string. So 10, 7, 9, then 7 on the 2nd string, 9 on the 3rd string, 7 on the 3rd string. So it kind of goes down, from here it goes duh, 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 and then back up one step, duh, 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 then back up one step, duh, 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 duh. Like going down the stairs 3 steps, and then back up 1 step, and then descending 3 steps, and then going back up 1 step, going down. You get the idea. I don't need to talk about walking down the stairs, do I? So depending on whether you play that B note, or whether you just go. Whew, this is long. Okay, so going from that little rundown. Back to our D note, and that fill that we've already covered, and then I think Jimmy just goes, which is fragments of a G, G sharp, and an A. He's not playing full bar chords, he's just playing, you know. And that takes us into the chorus. I like to go, or something like that. Just makes me feel a little bit more Jimmy for a fleeting moment. And then we're into the chorus. And the chorus is those double stops, and we're going through those chords A, E, F sharp minor, and G. So G is the only different chord there compared to the verse. Okay, so our double stops. When doing double stops, you know, okay, so we're starting with A at the 5th fret, so our double stop is here. There are 2 notes, as this, which is also an A, and here at the 3rd string, 6th fret. Okay, so there is a gap in the middle. The 2nd string is not played. Okay, we've got the 1st string, 5th fret, and we've got the 3rd string, 6th fret. Now you can either play it with just a downstroke and mute that 2nd string, or lately I seem to be doing it in a kind of claw hammer way, either with my fingers or with a pick and my finger. If I'm holding my pick with my thumb and my 1st finger, then I'm kind of doing the claw hammer thing with my 2nd finger. Yeah. Okay, so let's just cover the double stops. So our first double stop for the A chord is the one I've already talked about. Then we just move that up, literally up that way. Okay, not up higher up the fretboard, but this way. Okay, so we move it from 1st string and 3rd string up to 2nd string and 4th string, still with that gap in the middle. So that's 2nd string, 5th fret, and 4th string, 6th fret. Then we go to here. Here we are at the 7th fret, and I'm playing that with my 2nd finger as a top note, my 3rd finger on the bottom note. Both at the 7th fret. Just 2nd string and 4th string. And then this. Okay, now that's a little bit tricky. You've got a little bit of pinky action going on. Okay, so let's start that phrase. We're starting on the 4th string, and we're starting it at the 7th fret, and we're sliding up to the 9th fret, and then immediately playing the 7th fret on the 3rd string. And then put our 3rd finger down, no, 2nd finger down. So we've got that shape. So our 2nd finger is down on the 2nd string at the 8th fret. Goodness me, it's getting late. Now the pinky is the hammer on bit, and that's hammering on the 2nd string at the 10th fret. Okay, so the whole thing would be. Oh, I choked that. Terrible. Terrible. Let me do that again. So. That was not much better. No, I can't even hit them strings. I'm losing it, guys. Okay, that's finally got it. Okay, so again, just to recap, sliding from the 7th fret up to the 9th fret on the 4th string, hitting the 7th fret 3rd string, and then also the 8th fret 2nd string. Okay. And then okay. And then our little embellishment, pinky on 2nd string, 10th fret, pull off, and then play the 3rd string. And then do that again. Pinky on the 10th fret, pick it, pull off, pick the 3rd string, which you are fretting a note on the 9th. 7th, sorry. Then repeat the whole thing again. Let me speed up a bit now. Now you know what I'm doing. So once you've done that twice, slight change, it goes to here, which is our double stop from our A, which 1st string and 3rd string, 1st string at the 5th fret, 3rd string at the 6th fret, and we're going to go up to the 9th. Okay, both notes are on the 9th fret. I'm playing those notes with my 2nd finger as the top note on the 3rd string, and my 3rd finger, when I say top note, I mean the one that's closest to me, not the highest note. Sorry about that. But it's like that. So they're stacked on the same fret. And we slide that down 1 fret, and then we slide down 1 more time. So the whole thing will be. And then I hit this chord there, which is an F sharp minor, but just up here, played as a root 5 chord, starting on the 5th string, at the 9th fret. Now I've just remembered, if you're trying to work this out and you're wondering what the hell's going on, because nothing I'm doing sounds like what you're doing at the frets I'm telling you, sorry dudes, I'm tuned down to E flat, so I can play along with the record. And if you're playing lots of Jimi, you know, I play a 2.5 hour show of Jimi's material, and I only play 5 songs in standard tuning. Okay, so if you're going to be going through an intense Jimi period, it's time to tune down to E flat. All right. So just back to the D with our little fill, and then back to our A. Okay, so I hope I haven't taken too long to explain to you. It's quite hard when you actually talk about each note and each fret. I'm surprised how long it takes when actually most of you probably got it by now, just watching my fingers and listening to what's coming out of the amp. But since we're talking about amps, it's a Bogner tube amp. The gain is on 6, treble's on I don't know, 8, middles on 4, 5, basses on about 8. Okay, I'm going straight in, no pedals, and I'm on the neck pickup, and it's been around the 7.5 for most of the time. Okay, I've got a little bit of delay and a little bit of reverb, which you might be able to hear. But in terms of setup, that's it, straight in and no messing about. Okay guys, any questions, drop me a comment, any stuff ups that I've done because I've been talking too long and it's far too late in the evening to be doing this stuff, then please let me know. Okay, and I will attempt to put some tab in the comments so you can download that. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I haven't covered the solo. Maybe I'll get around to that another evening, because this is already 25 minutes of me wah 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 talking. I've got nothing more, which is probably a good thing. Alright guys, I'll see you later. It's Phil from 15minuteguitarpractice.com saying good night.